Joining me, this is Joe from Joe's Transformer Toy Reviews. What I have here is the Legend-sized Combiner Wars Groove figure. This is part of the Defensor, the canonical Defensor figure from the Combiner Wars series. He is the accessory piece. You can complete Defensor without him, but he becomes a chest plate, which honestly, when you find the pegs that he plugs into, it actually looks quite nice, and I think he looks the entire figure looks much better with him on it. So as you can see, he's a very leg-based robot. Seriously, legs take up at least 60% of his total height, probably more. He has fairly good range of motion. A lot of the Legends figures have him pretty good in this line and on. He does not have any weapons. He can hold weapons with his hands, any 5mm peg weapons. He doesn't come with any. The tech spec mentioned him being more of a pacifist, but that doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense. Anyways, I'm going to show you his transformation to a motorcycle, and when we're done, I will combine the other figures to Defensor, combine him with it, and do a review on Defensor as a whole in the same video. So let's transform him into a motorcycle. That flips up, his toes flip up, move his waist up, connect the two legs together, rotate, move these hinges for the shoulders to make the handlebars, and then swing the arms down to connect it all together. It's not a terrible motorcycle, but there have been a lot of good motorcycle figures lately, and this one's kind of, I wouldn't say disappointing, especially for its size, more generic, kind of bland. That's him as a motorcycle. He has a port right here to plug into other figures or plug weapons into that have a port onto them. Some do. And this is a standard 5mm port to plug a weapon into to give him firepower. There's like little boosters on the back here. I guess it could be exhaust. I have a hard time getting the tire or wheels to line up. Other people don't seem to have the same issue, but once in a while it comes with a minor problem. It still rolls fine without it connected or closed completely. So then, that is Groove. If you were to buy him by himself without expecting to combine to onto the chest plate Defensor, I wouldn't really make a big recommendation of him. A child definitely would probably have some fun with him. For the collector, most people who collect Transformers were not very enthused about him. They were more interested in waiting for a release of the deluxe size Groove. Other way, just pull him aside a little bit. Now let's start off with the Defensor members' feet. We have Streetwise here, and I will use Rook as the other foot. This is what I normally would do for them. Now I don't remember left or right who was on which side for the original Defensor. I really don't care that much. I do know that Groove and Streetwise were the original legs, and I will maintain that, but I'm not going to really worry about which one was supposed to be on which foot, because it doesn't make a big difference. Let's take off these weapons to get started. Do it for both of them, and turn them both into legs. So you rotate the windshield off of Streetwise, rotate the front end down, set them on top of the foot, and rotate up the connector piece. Now with his gun, I like to make it as a leg cannon, mostly because I don't know where else to put it. And then we have Rook here. We move the top portion. Oh, sorry, the head needs to move first. To that position. We move this whole section up. Move the toes around to the back. Actually, that wasn't the toes, that's the front end of the vehicle. Attach the foot to the bottom. We rotate up the connector slot. So that's both legs ready to go. Can move back a little bit, try to make more room. Move these guys to the back. I'll move them forward as needed. I put this somewhere else because otherwise just that's too much bulk to the front of Rook. Here's Hotspot. There's guns. I'm not going to go too far or too much detail into the transformation into each part, just because I've already done that in these figures on little videos. So prepare the shoulders. Over. So yeah, right now I'm rotating the ladder around, as I showed in the original video for Hotspot, and connecting him in. Once again, the ladder's positioning can make or break, or can definitely improve or can make or break your experience with Defensor. Because you will otherwise deal with a lot of parts popping out. It's really frustrating if you don't get it lined up correctly. So that is what it should look like. It should be, look rather square. If it's a little angled, then you might want to retry it. Okay. So now connecting him to the legs. There's the connector joints right there. And that's... Let me rotate up. That's him so far. Now I might need to take my camera off in order to give you a better look at him as an entire figure, but that's how I'm going to angle this right now. I'm going to get blades going. Again, helicopters have been pretty good limbs all across the board. Though I do feel like it's a missed opportunity not to use the fan blade as a weapon of some sort. It's like a cutting weapon. I feel like it would have been a pretty nice touch. They did that in the one for Bruticus in Fall Cybertron. It was a short segment of the video game, but it was a very fun segment. Okay, again I rotate the one missile arm, so I can move it up a bit for aiming purposes. Now, for the guns, there's really not a lot of good places to put them. I just don't like leaving them off, so that's just personal preference. Okay, his hand needs to go on. I'll connect him. There was an issue or an episode in the original series where First Aid stopped combining with Defensor because he was a pacifist and he hated seeing people hurt. So this is kind of what that looked like in theory. Not really. Because the original series would have had Groove on there instead of a character that didn't exist yet named Rook. I do like to put this axe on the front. So honestly, it looks way too small to do any good for a large combiner. And it's out of the way. Alright. So, go ahead and do his arms. First Aid, again, one of my favorites. Getting his hand out. And I usually put this claw there. Okay, so that is Defensor. I'm going to add his gun. Combined to his two regular guns. It doesn't look, the gun doesn't look like too much when it's combined like that. I don't mind. You can make it two guns like this. Actually, this part right here on the one gun is too big or too long to actually comfortably fit within First Aid. So First Aid will be getting the other one, which has no peg to worry about. And now, Groove. That is Defensor by himself. He is pretty good. I like him. I like him quite a bit, actually. And here's Groove. Okay. Now I haven't done this in a little bit, so bear with me. Move his arms into the place. It would put his arms for, his shoulders I mean, for robot mode. Turn his arms all the way around. And then move the legs up. Make an interesting little crest. Now, this peg right here on the crotch for Groove that is the only place that actually connects to Defensor. There's a peg right here in the center of the chest, so that's basically all you're connecting. And then you just put the legs back. So it makes the crest piece. I like it. I think it adds some visual interest to the chest, because otherwise it's just a big plate of black. Although then it kind of begs the question: is Gru's only job here is to be shot over and over again? Possibly. But, and then you have the entire robot. He is huge. I don't know the exact height when you stand him up like this. There is some minor issues with the legs here. They don't really have a permanent peg, and the weight that they're carrying causes them to fall out of the section for it. But you have a lot of posability and options. And seriously, add guns wherever you want. I can't find places I really like them though. Whatever. But the posability, considering the Gestalts in the original series, they could move their arms at the shoulder and that was it. So the fact that he can do maneuvers like this is mind-blowing to the original fans of the series. I love the look. A few minor issues, like the hips right here don't always stay where they're supposed to, and the gun, when combined, not really impressive. It doesn't look like cohesion. It looks two guns glued together, but otherwise the design is spot on. I really love this look. I would just get a better gun and find a way, if I were to improve upon it, find a better way for the hips to connect in. This is very similar to Bruticus, but with some major differences. How it combines the combiner mode is significant enough that I probably would do a separate review for all of those, just to show it off. But again, highly recommended to get the parts together to build Defensor. He is easily one of my top combiners. Just the look, and also nostalgia, of course, figures into the whole thing. So highly recommended. But let me move this back so that you can get a better look of the entire thing. And allow me to just take this off, give you the full look around. He does stick out a lot, but oh, by the way, these, if I remember correctly, are supposed to be some type of shield generator. There's a running gag with Transformers fans that it will almost immediately be shut down somehow. Oh, there was one episode where it deflected shots from Bruticus and caused Bruticus to somehow blow up. The show wasn't very consistent back in the 80s. Either way, very solid figure, a very solid combiner team. All 6 figures I would recommend together, and that's where I stand. Children would love it. Definitely would recommend them to be at least 8 years old as recommended to try putting the whole thing together and playing with it. Collectors should love this whole set because, well, honestly, they did several repaints of almost all of them, the parts to it, so you have several chances to like it. But great appearance and definitely worth getting. So this is so if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Please like and subscribe this video. This is Joe signing off. You have a good night.